everyone. Today is Ask Away Wednesday, where we answer your questions about data governance, data security, Alter, Snowflake, all of those kind of related topics. Today's question is really kind of an interesting one. Something we actually get a lot. It seems like the market's really getting kind of educated about this. Why would you pick tokenization over encryption? I know I've got my thoughts as I usually do. James, what are yours?
I think there's probably two or three main veins here. The first one is usability. With tokenization, specifically deterministic tokenization, it does keep both referential integrity and usability of the sensitive data for your end user. So a lot of the Alter tokenization customers actually don't detokenize as frequently as you might think or imagine. A lot of the queries can be run over these obfuscated values, maybe similar to kind of how you would hash certain values. So you could still do joins and do counts and do distincts and things like that. So I think usability is very important. I know there's the holy grail of homomorphic encryption. I've had so many people send me new companies and new startups that claim to have it, and Alter is going to go out of business because homomorphic encryption is here. Still waiting for it. I know it's cool, but it's not there yet. So usability is important. I also think that there's an overhead with encryption that folks will tell you about if you listen, from key rotations to having to make sure that you have correct cipher set, integrations between all your key management appliances, uptime for those services can really lead to overhead as it relates to encryption. And then the last thing, Chris, for me is whenever I'm talking to a security conscious Snowflake user, you have to always remember that with encryption, the sensitive information is actually still there. It's just obfuscated. And tokenization completely removes that sensitive information from your lower trust environment and puts it inside of Alter's higher trust environment. And I think when folks begin to understand that even if ciphertext gets taken, that's still a risk to the business, because that they actually took the information. Whereas if somebody takes your batch of tokens, they're completely meaningless to them. So that's how I look at it.
I totally agree with your second point, probably the most. The burden of having a robust encryption program is probably 10 times greater than tokenization. And why is that? Well, you have to do all the things you said. You have to store the key somewhere. That's the biggest thing. You've created a new problem for yourself. You have to store the key somewhere. You have to manage it. You have to stay technically relevant, which means as new cipher new cipher suites come out, you have to adopt them. You have to make sure you're staying in compliance with all of the NIST standards, plus. And you have to do all of that with a group of people who are used to doing that, security conscious people. So if you're an organization and consumer CPG company, not necessarily the most security conscious organization in the world, but you have this new need to secure this data, that is way away from your operational expertise. That happens to be our operational expertise. And so that's what makes it valuable to use Alter as a service to protect that data.
I agree.
All right. Well, we hope that answers the question. Go ahead and hit the like button at the bottom. Comment if you have any questions or just comments, even really. We'll be here next week to answer more questions. Thanks, everyone.